Since the late 1800s, thousands of Indigenous children from across Canada were forcibly removed from their homes and taken to residential schools. Once there, they were starved, beaten, sexually, verbally, and physically abused. If they tried to run away, they were brought back and punished. In many cases, parents did not even know where their children were. Many children never made it back home. In 2021, the Kamloops Indian Band announced that 215 anomalies suspected to be unmarked graves were found. Since then, dozens of other communities from across Canada have also come forward with their own discoveries. Despite these discoveries and testimonies from survivors, there is a small but loud group that denies that unmarked graves even exist, or that residential schools were bad for Indigenous people. Angela White says this group needs to be educated and held accountable.
Once you start allowing voices to start spewing and changing the narratives of what our history truly is, you open the door to so many other negative voices that can just instill themselves and start changing those narratives.
White points to a recent video that shows BC Conservative MLA Dallas Brody mocking residential school survivors and claiming there are no unmarked graves.
I do know that if we don't have truth, not his truth, her truth, my grandmother's truth, or this whole thing about my truth and your truth, my truth. This stuff has to stop. It's like, it's got to be the truth.
She wants people to shut up the survivors because their truth isn't worth anything in her eyes. That's, I think, really where what survivors are really talking about is enough is enough. Like the strong ones are coming forward and saying, this is my truth and I'm going to stick to it.
Hugh Breaker is with the First Nations Leadership Council, which is comprised of political leaders from across BC. They are calling on the federal government to enact legislation that would stop residential school denialism.
To me, it's sort of like an added insult to the people who suffered in residential school. It's like you're hitting them over the head again. These people put up with so much in their life, and now they're having to be called a liar.
Breaker has a message for anyone who denies residential schools were a dark part of Canada's history.
You've got to stop this because you're hurting people. You're hurting a lot of people, and you're making it difficult for us to bring up our children in a proper way, to make them proud of who they are.
Dallas Brody was kicked out of the Conservative Party after her comments went viral. Our request for an interview with her was not granted by the time this story went to air. Tina House, APTN National News, Vancouver.